midnight screams.
A message appeared on every screen in the world. Hide. I stared at my phone, confused. The whole group was deep into a game of Monopoly. I swear, if you land on free parking, I'll kill you, Evelyn scoffed. Ravi shook the pair of dice in his hands. Come on, fours. He let them fly. Damn it, he cursed, losing badly as usual. I tried to make sense of the message on my screen. Just that one word, black text on a white background, no frills. Hide. I tapped the screen impatiently. The word remained. Evelyn's voice cut in, using the tone of a teacher catching a student misbehaving. You're addicted to that thing. Play the game like a normal adult. Sorry. I tried a few more hopeless taps before holding down the power button. With my other hand, I took the dice. I rolled a 3, landing on B&O Railroad. I thought for a second, then to hell with the railroad. I passed. We had our own rules, of course. If someone didn't want a property, that was fine. No need to auction it off. We played with house rules. While Hero, to my left, prepared to drag his little shoe token past Go to collect his $200, I went back to wrestling with my expensive brick of a phone. Holding the power button for a full minute did nothing. A hard reset was probably next. I considered asking to borrow Ravi's laptop to Google what the hell was going on. Suddenly, I felt the apartment give a slight tremor, just for a second, like being on the edge of an earthquake. I tensed, waiting. The noise from the TV, which had been auto-playing No One Gets Out Alive on Netflix, abruptly cut out. It was followed by the hiss of static. Ravi was the first to get up. I don't think that was an earthquake, he said, slowly, as if afraid to startle something. He checked the TV's connections. Yeah, it's not the breaker. Am I running too much stuff? I was still fiddling with my apparently hacked phone. That strange word was still staring back at me. Hero let out a half laugh. I looked up. What? Hero showed me his phone. His home screen was also hijacked by the black text on a white background. Hide. Evelyn, a proud technophobe, was using the opportunity to catch up on a backlog of texts. What the hell is this? She said, her voice laced with annoyance. Seeing my own brow furrowed in a near scowl, she held up her phone for me to see, a mirror of what I'd just seen on Heroes. I was starting to get worried. Ravi, where's your phone? Just asking for a friend, he said, still messing with the TV. Whether it was his doing or not, the TV suddenly flickered back on, the red power light blinking steadily. On the large screen was a single simple message: hide. Ravi mashed the remote to get back to Netflix, but nothing responded. My brother is calling, Evelyn said, turning back and holding out her phone. Heroes was doing the same. What the hell is happening? Ravi stared at the TV, then at us. Is this like an Amber Alert? Hero asked. Maybe, but that's usually a push notification. This has taken over the whole screen, Ravi said, frowning. And on different devices, too. Is it a hack? I asked. He shrugged. What kind of a bizarre hack is this? Government experiment? Hero guessed. A thought sparked in my mind. I walked out onto the balcony, sliding the glass door aside, and stood there looking down at the city from the 14th floor of Ravi's apartment. The nearby buildings had most of their windows curtained, but a few were open. I felt like the guy from Rear Window, peering into the lives of strangers who were all staring at their own phones or computers. Wall-mounted TVs, just visible from my vantage point, displayed the same black and white message. What I was seeing, everyone else was seeing. The others came out to stand beside me. Whatever it is, it's neighborhood-wide, I said. Looking down at the street, I saw people below were also frozen, their eyes glued to their devices. Guess you can't exactly call the cops, Hiro said. I'm sure they're aware, I replied. Guess we just wait for them to fix it, Ravi said. I nodded, but Evelyn seemed unsettled, like she was turning something heavy over in her mind. You have a thought? I asked her. I mean, what if we're supposed to do it? She asked. Do what? Ravi said. Hide. Hide where? Ravi asked again. I don't know, she replied. I mean, we're already in an apartment. That should be safe enough, right? Ravi said. The group was silent for a moment. Let's not lose our heads, Ravi continued. This is insane. But I mean, it's not like we're actually supposed to hide, right? Hiro snapped his fingers. Maybe it's some kind of viral marketing for a new movie? His voice carried a hint of much-needed, if unintentional, levity. Hacking people's phones so they're unusable? I don't think a studio like Lionsgate could pull that off, I replied, then turned back to Evelyn. But seriously, hide? A glint of an idea flashed in Evelyn's eyes. She walked quickly back inside and began to carefully survey Ravi's apartment. What are you doing? Ravi asked, following her. Hiro and I trailed after them. I don't care if I look stupid. What if this is a real warning? What if something is happening? She said. We're already in a box inside another box, Ravi said. Fine, but this thing. She pointed at the TV, then at her phone. It says to hide, and maybe we should take it literally. Evelyn continued her search, finally settling on the sliding closet in Ravi's bedroom, the most plausible spot in his 600 square foot apartment. I'm going in here, unless you have a better idea. Evelyn, Ravi pressed. She climbed in, pushing through the hanging clothes, and scooted to the far side to make room. I'm closing the door. If you're my friends, you'll get in here too. The air turned awkward until Hiro spoke up. Well, I guess it can't hurt, right? He stepped inside, hesitating for a moment before squeezing in next to Evelyn. You can all make fun of me forever if I'm wrong. It's a win for you regardless, she said as Hiro worked his way in. It was a convincing argument. Reluctantly, I followed, ducking under Ravi's collection of party shirts. There was still room for the man himself in his own closet. For fuck's sake, Ravi muttered, finally stepping in and pulling the sliding door shut. Darkness enveloped us immediately. I looked down at my phone. Same classic font, same command. How long do we have to stay in here? Ravi asked. 5 minutes, Evelyn replied. Oh, for God's sake, he grumbled. We sat in silence for a moment. The distant ticking of the living room clock seemed to slow my heart rate. The whole thing felt ridiculous, but also kind of fun. Remember that time we went camping at Sunlight Grove? Hiro asked. Glamping, you mean, Ravi corrected. I thought I saw a bear, Hiro laughed. A mama bear and her cub. It was pitch black, but it looked just like a bear. Evelyn laughed along. I even heard a noise. A bear in Sunlight Grove, Hiro repeated. The saddest patch of forest in America. Shut up, Ravi said, suddenly serious. If we're going to be in here, Let's at least commit to the bit before the doll from The Conjuring finds us." We fell silent again. My eyes drifted back to my phone, the meaningless word, hide. The whole thing was bizarre, but it was starting to make me genuinely uneasy. "What do you think this is?" Hero whispered. I shook my head. Evelyn gave a slight shrug. Ravi took a deep breath and spoke, his voice low. "I think it's obviously something sophisticated," he said. "Like, this is definitely not simple. I've got my bank account on this phone, and if it's bricked, I'm screwed." "They'll figure it out," I reassured him. Suddenly, there were sharp, rapid knocks at the apartment door. "Hey!" a voice called out, muffled through the walls. "Ravi, are you in there?" Evelyn flinched. "Who is that?" "Probably Skinner," Ravi joked. "Nah, it's Monica, my neighbor." Evelyn reached past me and Hero, grabbing Ravi's sleeve. "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'm gonna go open it." "You said 5 minutes," Evelyn reminded him. "Yeah, but now I'm being a bad neighbor." The knocking persisted. Monica kept talking. "My phone has this weird thing on it, so does Brad's. The screen just says, hide. The TV too, the computer. I don't know what to do." Ravi sighed. "Okay, that's enough. I have to—" "No!" Evelyn hissed. Suddenly, we all froze. I felt something very real. The knocking had stopped, or at least I couldn't hear it. The clock wasn't ticking, the clothes weren't rustling. It was as if the world was holding its breath. But there was a presence just outside the closet door. Then, a jolt of static stung my ears before it vanished. The feeling faded. Sound returned, and I glanced at my phone. The word hide was gone, replaced by my home screen. The four of us sat in an uncomfortable silence. "Did you guys feel that?" Evelyn whispered. No one said anything. Ravi reached for the closet door, but his hand was trembling. "You can do it," I whispered. "I think it's okay." He steeled himself, as if crossing some internal threshold. He pulled the door aside, revealing the room exactly as we had left it. We looked around. "I'm going to open the door for Monica," Ravi said, his voice devoid of life. I stood up and slowly walked out of the room. We followed, stopping in the living room as he approached the front door. I opened Twitter, searched for the word hide, and sorted by latest. Meanwhile, Evelyn grabbed the remote from the shelf and turned on the TV, now free of the command. She navigated through the Roku channels. "What are you looking for?" Hero asked. "The news, I guess, see if there's anything," she replied. I scrolled, finding nothing useful except for panicked posts from around the world confirming the event was global. My attention shifted back to Ravi. He was standing motionless on the welcome mat, his eye pressed against the door's peephole. He stayed there for a long time, unmoving. "Is everything okay?" I asked. He didn't answer, just stood there, rigid. I walked over, gently tapped his shoulder, and pulled him away from the peephole. He finally let go, leaning against the wall and slowly sliding down to sit on the floor. I looked through the peephole. Outside, the neighbor who had been knocking looked like she'd been skewered and utterly destroyed. Her blood sprayed across the hallway. "What the fuck?" I muttered, feeling my phone vibrate in my hand. A new word appeared on the screen. Again. Before I could process it, Ravi and Evelyn reacted. "It's back! It says, again now." I looked over at the TV screen, and saw the same ominous warning. Shit, so we have to hide again? Hiro yelled, looking at Ravi. I'm totally freaking out. AJ, what do you think we should do? Hiro repeated. Evelyn, I managed to force the words out. You had a good feeling last time. What do you think now? How much time do you think we have? Evelyn asked. How long was it between when I saw hide and when we felt that presence in the closet? Maybe 10 minutes, Ravi mumbled, his voice almost gone. Not sure. Evelyn cut herself off. Wait, what did you see outside? She started towards the door. I stopped her. I don't think you should look. Are you serious? She asked. Yes, I said, immediately realizing it might have been wiser to lie. We can't assume we have the same amount of time, Ravi added. I have an idea. Should we try the same hiding spot? Hiro started pacing, tapping his heel on the floor. Think about it. It said, hide. We hid. Now it says, again, meaning it's going to happen again. Hiro looked directly at us, as if he could see past everyone's glazed-over eyes to what waited on the other side of the door. That's great, but what's your point? I asked. I mean, when you're a kid playing hide-and-seek, if you keep picking the same spot, the seeker will eventually find you. Are we applying logic to this madness now? Ravi muttered. Evelyn composed herself. I think Hiro's right. It sounds insane, but maybe we have to trust our gut. And my gut says that's better. But that sounds like you're saying we should split up, I said, realizing that with this limited space, the suggestion made more sense than I wanted to admit. I turned to Ravi. Where should we go? Ravi shook his head, then tapped his forehead a few times as if to wake himself up. 2 of you under the bed, he hissed. 1 in the utility closet, 1 in the laundry closet. Ravi stood up and pointed to one of the doors behind me. Go! I looked at Hiro and Evelyn, who both ran into the bedroom. Ravi nodded at me and then shoved himself into the laundry closet, maneuvering his body between the washer and dryer before closing the door. I stepped into the utility closet and tried to shut the door, but it wouldn't latch. Damn it, I muttered. Ravi, the handle is broken. But then I stopped myself from speaking. If time was up, all I was doing was giving away my position, and maybe Ravi's too. I tried to close it a few more times, but it was no use. Finally, I decided to just grip the handle, holding the door shut with my own strength. My heart pounded, my hand trembled, but I tried to keep my breathing even as the silence fell again, that total, complete silence. And then the presence. I felt a gentle pull on the door. I held the handle tight, not daring to resist too strongly, not wanting to give myself away. And then it stopped. The feeling was gone. I waited another 15 seconds before sneaking a look at my phone. The word again had vanished. Ravi's door opened first, and I opened my own. Ravi looked emotional. I forgot that door was broken. I was seriously freaking out. It's okay, I know. I comforted him. I heard you call out, but I didn't dare say anything. I was afraid it would, but we're alive. It's okay. I remembered it wasn't just us. Where are Evelyn and Hiro? Right, Ravi said, and we both ran into the bedroom. At first, there was nothing. They hadn't emerged. For a moment, I had the horrifying thought that I was about to pull their bodies out from under the bed. Guys, I said, it's okay, you can come out. Silence. Just silence. After a long moment, they finally crawled out, still alive. As they slowly stood up, I wanted to hug them, to hug everyone. For a brief moment, I felt an intense appreciation for life and for the faces of these friends. Another vibration from my phone. I looked down. Break time. I let out a sigh of relief, holding up the screen for everyone to see. I guess that's good news. A little time to breathe after that insanity, Evelyn said. But what happens next? Is this just going to keep happening? Ravi asked. We walked into the living room, on edge. We don't even understand what happened, Evelyn continued. I feel like something is wrong. Evelyn, how did you know we should stay in the closet for 5 minutes? Hiro asked, a suspicious edge to his voice. I noticed a flicker of annoyance on Evelyn's face. I didn't know. I just guessed. But you were lucky I was here to force you to hide. That example clearly showed how stubborn you all are. Hiro looked at her, his expression strange. Yeah, that's it. Sounds like you have something more to say, she replied. Why would I have anything more to say? Ravi stepped between them. For God's sake, everyone, calm down. But as he spoke, and maybe it was just my imagination, I felt like Ravi was hiding a subtle, knowing smirk. Hiro, I think you're suspecting the wrong person, I said. Ravi's expression soured, which only confirmed it for me. I don't think you should be mad at the person who saved our lives the first time. I said it while gesturing at Evelyn, but as I looked at her, I felt something was wrong with her too. The one I held back, or the one who was about to open the closet door? Then another, clearer thought hit me. Wait, Ravi, you were going to get me killed. I glared at him instantly. My anger grew with every second, but everything was starting to make sense. Evelyn and Hiro were siding with me, too. Ravi looked stunned. I already admitted I messed up with the door, and I confessed it to you. Why are you trying to make this a bigger deal? I was just trying to keep everyone calm. But as we advanced on him, he backed towards the kitchen cabinets, pointing a finger at me. You're the one who was glued to your phone when this all started, Ravi said, as if he'd just had a revelation. You were waiting for it to happen. That's a crazy deflection, I shot back, certain I couldn't trust him. But as I looked at Evelyn and Hiro, I realized I couldn't trust them either. I couldn't trust any of them. Ravi had to be the first one to go. He grabbed a knife from the kitchen block and pointed it at us. Only a vague thought in the back of my mind told me we were being manipulated. It was so obvious, as if something had been and was still in complete control of us. But unfortunately, that realization was, for me, purely academic. As the chain of thoughts and feelings connected, it all made sense. The emotion inside me was intense. Come on, it's break time, Evelyn said. It's turning us against each other. Of course she would know. If she was in on it. We stared at her, then tracked every tiny movement from any of these traitors, the bastards. Not a single twitch would get past me. It's controlling us, putting anger that isn't ours in our heads, no matter how real it feels. She held up her phone, and we all read it. Break time. We can't fall for it. A tiny part of my rational mind surfaced, even though I was still convinced that Evelyn, Ravi, and Hiro were the source of everything that was happening. Ravi gripped the knife tighter, and we stood in a strange four-way standoff. But then, suddenly, the anger was gone. The intense fear vanished. My unease and paranoia dissolved. My phone screen returned to its default image. It's hard to describe how I felt. The clarity, the shame. I looked at Ravi sadly. He lowered his head and slowly returned the knife to its block. Hero turned to Evelyn first. "I'm sorry," he said. Then to Ravi, "Sorry, man." "Sorry, everyone," Ravi said. "I'm sorry too," I said. "It's okay, you idiots," Evelyn replied. "We deserve that." "That was insane," Ravi said, "like a broken roller coaster." That was all me," Hero said, as if something inside. "It's okay," I said, growing tired of the phrase. I was sure I was the least deserving of forgiveness after what I'd been thinking just 30 seconds ago. "We need to write something down. Like, we're suggestible. We can't forget," Ravi said. "We just have to remember to stay lucid," I interjected. "Remember that." But perhaps the fear of again appearing on a phone sent Ravi scrambling for something to scribble on, while the rest of us tried to breathe, enjoying the rare moment of peace, every half second a luxury. I wanted to say sorry a dozen more times, a feeling I was sure wasn't unique to me. "I feel like I'm losing myself," I said. "It feels like being trapped in a dream," Ravi replied. Hero looked intently at all of us. "We might all die. We should probably say some things." "No, don't say that," Evelyn said. "How many people do you think are dead?" Hero asked. I walked over to the TV, temporarily freed from one or two word commands, and turned it on, scrolling through the main screen. I found a live stream of a soccer game, a fixed camera angle, all the spectators in the stands torn to shreds. The players on the field were shapeless, disintegrated. I went back to the homepage, trying to find another live feed. I clicked on a news channel I'd never heard of. The scene was an empty news desk. Wires were visible under the desk, so I thought the anchor might be hiding underneath. "We're trying to broadcast," he was saying, "knowing the signal will cut out. I have survived, so far, what I cannot name. But from the footage I've seen, the carnage is immense. I urge, the broadcast was cut off by a new word, search, same classic letters." The screen fractured and then exploded with a loud pop. Shards of glass rained onto the floor, as did the screen of my phone on the coffee table and the phones in Evelyn's and Hero's hands. Reflexively, they both dropped them. They bounced slightly on the floor and lay still. "I'm panicking. Search, search," I stammered, trying to force my brain to work. Could it be something unusual? "Are we supposed to find the things that are killing people?" Hero asked. "I don't." I started but couldn't finish. I ran out to the balcony, searching the sky, the city, for a clue. What I saw in the neighboring buildings were blood-streaked curtains, shapeless bodies by open windows. And as my eyes darted from one point to another, a clue. A small TV in a nearby apartment, its screen intact, with a word on it. But I couldn't make it out, only that it was 5 letters long. "It's the screens," I said. "We need to find one that's still working." I ran back into the living room. "Does anyone have binoculars?" Everyone stared at me. "Are you serious?" "Who keeps binoculars in their apartment?" Ravi asked. "Yes, there's a screen in that apartment over there. It's working. There's a word on it, but I can't see it clearly. We need to find others we don't know. I rushed into Ravi's home office. The computer monitor was shattered. Damn it. I picked up my laptop, also in pieces. No good. I drummed my fingers on my chest restlessly, while everyone else desperately searched for something usable. Should I run over to the other building? Was there enough time? How would I even get in? Then, like a bolt of lightning, I remembered. Ravi, your phone. Where's your phone? Ravi's voice faltered. I don't know. I lose it all the time. Find it now. How do you not think that's important? We're looking for a working screen. It's the only one not accounted for. I turned to Hiro. Check the other apartments on this floor. See if any doors are unlocked. If you can get in, check all phones, laptops, TVs, anything. See if there's an intact message. Got it, he said, rushing to the door. He flinched at the body outside, nearly tripped, but composed himself and ran into the hallway as the door swung shut behind him. We tore Ravi's apartment apart, flipping over couch cushions. Where do you usually lose it? I asked. I looked under the bed, tore through the closet with a frantic Evelyn. I don't know. Sometimes I just toss it somewhere. Helpful. That's really helpful. In the bathroom, I opened the medicine cabinet, then went back to Ravi's bedroom, checking the pockets of clothes in the closet. The feeling of impending death was closer than ever. Was this how we were going to die? I love you guys, I heard Evelyn say softly, as if she felt it too. There was no visible countdown clock, but there was a clear feeling in my chest, like a train was coming and we were tied to the tracks. Ravi ran to the TV stand, searching behind it, then under books, beneath the shelves. I went back to the living room, sure there was nothing left to find. My eyes fell on the game we had started this deadly afternoon, Monopoly. Specifically, the messy pile of money, all 50 seconds, 20 seconds, and 10 seconds on my side. I knew he was a sloppy player, never bothering to trade in his small bills for 100 seconds. The high stack of cash made sense. He'd been winning all afternoon, but then I knelt, frantically searching the area, and found Ravi's Samsung Galaxy A35, perfectly intact, under the pile of fake money, with a new word displayed on it, smile. And this time, I truly felt like it was all over. I found it! We have to smile now! I yelled, as fast as an auctioneer. Evelyn turned from the kitchen. What? I snatched the phone from the floor and held it out for her to see. Smile, smile! She immediately contorted her face into a strained, toothy grin. Ravi started laughing, as if on instinct, without even needing to see the word on the screen. Hiro burst through the door. I couldn't find anything. I'm sorry, he yelled. Seeing our bizarre smiles, he looked at me with a pleading expression. When he saw me mouth a word, smile, his lips pulled into a pained grin, and by some miracle, Hiro beamed back. I held my own rigid smile, feeling a single tear of fear roll down my cheek. My eyes glued to the screen, hoping, praying, we wouldn't be torn apart. Then the word disappeared. I held up the phone for everyone to see, and one by one, our faces relaxed, returning to the now familiar tense anxiety, our scowls restored. The group let out a long, collective breath. I can't take much more of this, Ravi said. I know, Evelyn replied. But this time, Before we could even savor the empty moment, I saw a new message on the last remaining phone in my hand. Point to the sacrifice. I felt everyone's eyes on me. I couldn't hide my despair. "What is it?" Ravi asked. "Point to the sacrifice," I whispered, my breath gone. "AJ?" Evelyn asked. I started to angle the phone for everyone to read. I couldn't speak any louder. My body wouldn't let me. Below the text, a timer was already running. It was down to 145, 144, 143. As I showed them, it took a few seconds for the meaning to sink in. "Okay," Ravi said, breaking the silence. "So what? We need to use the time we have left to talk. Maybe we can all agree on someone." "Hey, I don't really know what I'm living for anymore," Hiro added. "Me, my family, my parents, my siblings. I hadn't even thought of them this whole time. They're probably..." "Yeah." I cut him off. His words hit me like a punch. Everyone I had ever known was probably gone. Yeah. Wow. Evelyn smiled softly. "All I have left is you guys," she said. "So fuck this." She raised her hand and pointed at herself without hesitation. Hiro pointed at himself too as the timer hit 110. "Fuck it. Yeah, you know what? I'm in." I looked at him, bewildered and exhausted. "Really? After all this? 17? 16? 15? "If there's a hell," Ravi said, "it's a long shot. But maybe, just maybe, we can dodge that bullet?" He curled his finger and pointed it at his own chest. "Let's flip this damn table." I looked at them. It was strange how every selfish thought suddenly flooded my mind at once. 040, 039, 038. "All right," I said, following their lead. "Let's do it." I pointed at myself, as if we were playing Simon Says. 033, 032, 031. I looked back at my old friends, the best friends I'd ever had in this stupid life. I looked down at the Monopoly board. It really was a terrible game. I never understood why we kept putting ourselves through it. 027, 026. I saw the pile of cash stacked on free parking. 023, 022. The only way to make the game fun was with house rules, the ones you make up. 020, 019. "Wait," I said. "Follow me." I ran to the door, opened it, and held it for the others to follow. 15, 14, 13. I pointed at Ravi's dead neighbor in the hallway, in front of Monica's door. When she died, we needed to know how dangerous this thing was. Her sacrifice gave us a chance, I said, almost looking up at the ceiling as if speaking to the beings behind this tragedy. I knew I was taking a huge risk. 9, 8, and we've definitely lost a part of our humanity. So, I'm sorry, I said, pointing at her. And thank you very much. 6, 5. My best friends raised their hands to point too, a bizarre way to end things, with a jumble of sorry and thank you escaping their lips. I had really ruined the beautiful moment in the room for this strange alternative. 2, 1, 0. House rules, I said, then braced myself for the pain, for the destruction. But the silence remained. Nothing happened. Instead, the screen of Ravi's phone in my hand displayed the words, "Good game." Then it reverted to its default screen, a picture of a French bulldog. Ravi didn't even own a dog. He just liked the breed. We stood there for 10 minutes, maybe more, before finally walking back inside in silence. Each of us like polite zombies. I didn't know what to think, what to do, who to check on, what the world was like, what any of this really was. I sat back down at the Monopoly table. The others, as if guided by an invisible hand, took their places one by one. "I think it's my turn," I said slowly. I picked up the dice, shook them, and rolled a 10. I lifted my top hat token, moving it square by square until it landed on Shortline Railroad. "You gonna buy it?" Evelyn asked. I thought for too long, and then, "Yeah, I'll buy it."